Hey, how's it going, everyone? Hello, Truth Algorithms. How you doing? Hello everybody for logging in and everything like that. How's it going? Welcome to the show. Yeah, today we're gonna jump in there and I'm gonna work on level two. I'm gonna go back to level two. So what I did was to work out some of level the last level, which is 7, and I'm gonna go back to 2 because there's some things in level 2 that's not really working out that well. I'm gonna go into designing and sketching it a little bit later today. Also, what we're gonna do too is to do some more figure drawing. Someone mentioned hands, right? So I think it's MacFan0 mentioned hands. So I'm gonna go in and we're gonna do some hands also. So with that said, let's get right to it. So I'm gonna go in, we're gonna start doing some designing of level 2, and then after that switch over to drawing hands and sketching and stuff like that, and we'll continue moving on from there. Besides all that, to this Friday I'm going to try to stream as long as possible and interact with anyone that logs into the stream here. And yeah, let's see what we could do. Let's see if we could make some good tutorials, and let's see if we could make some good game designs and stuff like that. So without further ado, let's jump straight into Blender and see what we could get all nice and modeled up and stuff like that. So let's get right to it. Okay, so game design, that's the segment. Let's get right to that. Okay, let's see here. Let's look for level 2 here. Let's bring that in. Bringing in level 2. Some work files here. Let's go levels. Okay, let's go into 2. So let's load that up. Let's go into layout where we can see everything real clear. I don't think there's any more backdrop in here. Okay, so this needs some major rework to make more sense and to be a little more exciting. So let's so I actually did a little sketch, and let's jump over to the Wacom here. I'm gonna look at that sketch and see if we could add more interest to this thing, because there's a lot of open space and stuff like that, and there's a couple of story beats that I think is going to inform what this level should look like. So let's go to it. Okay, let's launch Critter. Just gonna do that real quick. Okay, I'm gonna load up this level here. Okay, so I have a request. If anyone is watching me now, or even after the fact, and you come in, there's a little thing, So like what happened yesterday, I had one of the I had a follower, MacFan0, ask me a question, and I totally didn't see it until like way after the stream. So if you got any questions for me, and you typed it in chat and I haven't responded, use the songboard on the stream to get my attention. So let's see. That'll be like let's see if I could do that here. I want to show you guys what that would look like. I wonder if I could show it by navigating to myself, streaming myself. Let's see if that could work. I'm just gonna open a new window here and show you guys where that is. So it's right where the video is. You'll see something look like a purple guy with headphones, kind of purple ghost kind of thing, looking like with headphones. At least that's how I want to describe it. Oh, and there you go. Yeah, you can actually see him. Okay, so check this out, guys. This is what I'm talking about here. So this is gonna like echo a lot here. So you see right up in here. If you put your mouse or put your finger over, if you put your finger over the video, this is gonna echo a lot. Hello, 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 hello. There's yeah. So there's this guy right here. Let's not do that. Let's do it again. I don't know if that'll create some kind of loop feedback, but there's this guy right here that says sound alerts when you put the cursor over the video, and you could click on that, and you have to, well, right now I'm doing myself, right, and it would allow you to access different sounds and stuff on here. I can't do it because I'm not logged in to myself, but because you're logged in, you go in and just hit allow, and then you could press those different sound alerts like this one.
Hello, my friend.
Like that. Yep. So, you know, if you haven't gotten my attention when you ask me, you know, when you ask me a question there in chat, just please use one of the most annoying ones. Probably use like the flexing one, this one. And I'll look up and I'll be like, hey, okay, and I'll have a question to ask. Alright, let's get into it. I believe I have to change all the music in that one too, because like YouTube flags that one because it's like a known dance thing. Anyways, this is a redesign of level the redesigning of level 2. I'm just gonna switch around, gonna switch my Wacom here in real life here, and I'll probably turn on my my camera also if you want to see my pretty face. There's a lot of adjustments here. Okay. I think I have to be a little bit more front and center with this. Oh, there you go. It's easy on my back and other things. Okay, so I'm getting in here. Let's get to sketching with this thing here. Okay, it's a little weird thing just switching over. Okay, so here I am. There was a little weird thing happening there. Okay, so here I am. So let's get to. So this is a top-down view of the level here. Let's put the spawn point. So the spawn point for this. Lovely. I'm gonna just switch over to full screen. This is a player spawn point. Okay, so we have a building here and it has a key. to allow you to enter into another section here. This building here also has another key. To allow you to exit. Now what's happening in here should be some sort of story element. I don't want you to have to access that right off. There's some sort of separation. Let's see, got that going here, no separation here. Okay. So we got that separation right there. Whether this is a wall or something, I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna write some words here for myself according to the story in here. So secrets uncovered. Interesting. Almost got to use white on that. Let's get back here. Okay, so some sort of secrets uncovered. Okay, so this part here, let's do this part here as some sort of prison. Actually, it shouldn't be me, it should be rescuing, right? Let's put it like that. Can I get better like writing? Hold on here. There you go, that's better. I have to make this a little cryptic. I'm just making little notes in here. That's things that's supposed to happen in this level. So it kind of informs my design. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so these things have to happen here. Okay, so let's do that. So I would like this to be some sort of prism. Let's see, I want the character to be able to walk along. Now this is where I think in terms of navigation, like interesting paths to take here. So definitely you could go through here, you go through here. And this here should be another key for one of these, and then these should be a key for that. One of these should be a key for that. Okay, so this is how it's going to work here. So this is like some kind of unique code, but I'm going to use the key to represent it, because that's what we've been using so far. And not maybe I use a different symbol to represent, because it's not necessarily a key, it's more of a code. Okay, I got it now, let's go. Let's get rid of that, because that could be anything in the middle there. Let's do that. Matter of fact, I think I want something very much different in there. Okay, so you have to clearly outline what these objects that you're acquiring are. Let's do that. Alright, so that's for that, that's for this. Then we have one over here we need to get to. And this here is something definitely should be something special that is crucial that you need to get. I'm just gonna put a little dash here to indicate that these areas might be closed off. And you have to get at them. Okay, so so this is a unique. I'll say this is a unique object. Okay, let's color code this real quick. Okay, this guy here. Okay, so this definitely kind of activates this. Put that there. Okay. If these are different color, of course you gotta go with these wacky colors. And you need these two to open one of these. This is the same also. Let's put a center. Okay, hold on. This I'm gonna put this here. Just get this a color so it's a separate object there. Okay. And now let's put something in the middle here. So after you're able to unlock these guys here, right? Then you're able to get to the person that you need. And so obviously, this person would have some sort of guardian enemy that's kind of watching over him. Okay, so I'm already thinking of something. So I'm just gonna do a quick sketch. Okay, so as you start working on this stuff, you know, little ideas about how this stuff could look, what this stuff could look like, comes, and you just gotta kind of make these quick notes on them. Yeah, this could be a lot more complex than this, but the initial idea, the idea is what's important, not the detail. At least not right now. Let's see here. So we got this here. It's just an idea. Why does bad guys always have these kind of these kind of devices? I don't know. I guess they're like S&M or something like that. Is this carbonite or? Nope. I think the person's just on a. Is just being trapped and kind of like in this most uncomfortable torture kind of thing. Head down. Yeah, is a person like a glass tube or something? I don't know. Let me just look a lot more technologically advanced than this. Yes, this is some kind of bad robot guy who has turned into human masters, doing evil things there. Just basically this right here. Yeah, I have to put bad, I could put boss bot. Okay, so that's what this is. And I drew a top-down view of that throne there, so it's all good. I made other like little sketch notes like this, like over here, like what this building could look like over here in the shape, in the elevation, isometric view. Yeah, so this is definitely an objective. I think I want this for you to be able to go down to a level to meet this part here, so to be down a level. In elevation. Just make notes too, like slope. Could do that. It's not a big deal. It's not a slope. It's gonna show where this what this affects. Let's just do a straight line. This affects that. This affects this. You can do that for this other level here, of course. Yeah, this affects that. That affects this. See, this here, you definitely should face off with one of the boss here. And I'm just gonna draw it in. It's no big deal. Let's draw the boss guys through. Well, all these boss guys, why do they like thrones? I don't know. Show authority, I guess. Oops, my bad. Wrong one. Let's move this back a bit. Even looking at this, and I just jumped into level 1 here, and even looking at this, they could be more it could look more more epic. Is that a word? Let's see. So I could bring this over here, and I know there's several rocks here. So let's, you know, this is one good way of kind of working some things out. So I think this here should be kind of, there should be streams of this stuff. Right? So let's do that. Just give it like some kind of importance. Right. Make it start to look kind of weird. Echoing some of the, you know, the other parts of the game that you might see. All right. Kind of fixing this up here, so water be flowing, this wastewater flowing this way, and also this way. And this guy's gonna be sitting right there. Okay, just to be able to sell the idea. All right. See here. Yep, and this is a new thing here. Or actually did indicate rocks. So let's do that. Get a few rocks. It's not a big deal. You know, this could be anything. I'm not going to go overboard. I'm just going to say that there's like some freestanding rocks and stuff. Doesn't have to be pretty. Just has to convey a little bit of the idea. Okay, so freestanding rocks, you got this going, you gotta kind of correct the path here. Okay, let's go back to this. Now, with this here, I'm thinking maybe, you know, I want this part here to look a little more sinister and a little bit different than this technological thing. So a lot of this stuff I'm thinking is happening indoors. But at this point, this should be outdoors. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to end this wall here. And let's open this up. Let's kind of erase that stuff there. Let's erase this. It's natural up to a point. I think this might look cool if there's like some kind of moment where this stuff opens up into like some open area that's outside. Okay, let's go back. Of course, this will be different. Oops, my bad. Okay, we got trees here, but I'll take that away and make this into rock. Whoever these guys are could be barren, right? Make them look a lot more eviler. Okay. Oh yeah, so these circle things are trees, like top-down versions of them. Something kind of picked up from like, you know, doing architecture, or helping with architects, I should say. I wasn't doing it. Yeah, so let's see. Okay, let's bring in. I'm gonna bring in like a backdrop of like some kind of like mountain rock area. So you enter inside of here. All this is indoors. This is an interior shot. Did I put that here? Let's zoom out here. It's a little too close. So it's level 1. Let's put level 2 interior. Interior and exterior. So there's a little bit of exterior element here. Yeah, might as well just do it this way. Oh. Oh, my bad. kind of keep everything kind of neat. Okay, switch over. Level 1 exterior. Okay, level 2 interior. Alright, but this is a somewhat of an exterior element. Just gonna too much of that back. So on this side would be kind of mountains and not okay, so this is working out. Let's zoom out a bit. Let's see here. Yeah, we could get rid of trees on this side here. Keep the trees on the other side. Okay. I'm just gonna hint at some kind of mountain, so you do that. You show what are called contours. Okay. And it cut into there, and this kind of leads away. All right, so it leads away from everything else. Then you got like these trees here, and then however we enter into that to that area. All right, I'm just gonna to make sure I'm kind of mountained up. Okay, that's fine. So I'm just gonna make a little note here what this is. So you know this part here is this guy, and this guy's under. This actually prison under throne. Let's call this. Right. Has somebody prisoner, and zoom in there a bit. Okay, so we got a prisoner on the throne. So this here is an exterior sloped, and I'm gonna make a note here: slope to exterior. Let's do that. Let's type that. Write that out. I'll put rock face and stone. Okay. So maybe here we don't have these guys here. Let's get rid of those guys. Okay. They should definitely have like some freestanding stone structures around. So I'll just do that real quick just to kind of make sure I remember. Yeah, so this level's a big problem for me because at the time it's just I couldn't get any ideas that actually fit what I think should happen in here, but I think we're getting somewhere. So we know that's a boss. Alright, so what if we just put a nice Alright, put a nice boss on this. Just to make it clear. It's a little cheesy, but you know, who knows, who cares? It's just, this is an internal document for us, right? Let's put a boss here. Alright, actually there's several bosses in here, but let's just put it as a main guy. So we know. Yeah, so this is an interior thing, and it leads out to this rock thing here. And let's go ahead and add like that same wastewater thing that we've been using. So let's do that a little bit. I'm gonna add some streaks of that. I'm just gonna see what that is real quick. So I'm just gonna do something like so. Something like so. All right. By going down the rock face into here. Okay, let's call this waste. I'm going to describe the outer exterior. So this is slope to exterior rock face and stone terrain. We didn't note where this wastewater is running. Okay, let's do something like that. This might be a little bit much, but let's see what we could do. Turn that down a bit. Just kind of want to know what's going on here just a little bit. Okay, so I know visually that's this wastewater that's flowing down into there. All right, same thing with this level here. Just do that real quick. I think it might be a little distracting to put this in here, but I'll put it anyway. I'm liking the ending of level 1 here, because at first I didn't like the way the layout that I currently have, and I don't think it and just to put a bad guy in there I think would look kind of underwhelming. I think to make sure that his throne is there, and then to have these surging streams past them might give it a certain look. And it's almost like wherever these guys are, they have this kind of wastewater thing happening, right? It's kind of like that's kind of like almost what's happening there. Okay, so let's zoom out here a bit. Okay, so okay, that's to be revised. Okay, so I think level 2 is kind of coming along a bit, right? But I do believe that I need to split up what's happening here. So basically, if you walk here, you could go this way. So let's split this up into some sort of corridors and that kind of thing real quick. Do that over again. So it should line up. So okay, here we go. So let's have this on one level like so. Come on. Maybe I push it back a bit. It's probably too much on the nose coming out of here. Something like that. All right, there's a wide space. Yep, and maybe like some sort of T. You could choose where you want to go. This course leads to like some kind of back area. It's all good. All right, but here now, mirroring this thing back. I should definitely get a glimpse of this. Okay, this cuts off the view. So as soon as you bend the corner, you could get a clear view outside. Okay, this will work. And of course this goes up. It's up a level, right? So this is a slope. Let's try this again. Hopefully this is exciting enough for when you're running through and you're battling bad guys. I think like there needs to be a place of rest within these levels, and that's something that like a gameplay element where you could like rest and like maybe go through your inventory or look at your inventory or combine things in your inventory. You know, that'll be a cool idea. It might be a bit much for me, but it's an idea, and you could take the idea down. That don't necessarily mean I gotta execute in every little detail, right? You just gotta execute on the main details, the main things that matter. Don't know where that belongs. Okay, so let's see. Go there. This is a slope up. This is a higher. Okay, so yeah, that works. So let's do that. So make sure and make a note of that. Alright. Don't necessarily want to echo this back on this other side, but let's see. So this is a wide open area with just like all this stuff coming up here. Definitely let's see if we could have some kind of thing that let's introduce that ridge, those ridges from the last level in here. Maybe it's like this. Okay, and you can enter through the sides. Oops, wrong brush. Okay, that's good. As interesting as I can make, this level potentially be? I think is what is gonna add. By the time you add the enemies and the other like puzzle elements and stuff like that, and things like that, you know, I mean, it would be completely awesome, you know, if I could get away with doing like merchants and stuff like that. But I don't know if we need all that for this story, but at least not for number one. But you know, you think about all these things that you like, but then you know you also have to be realistic and just, you know, just kind of make a note of them and just leave them on the side and just focus on what matters, which is, you know, like a combat system and, you know, the fun elements of what this is rather than running through. It may seem like, you know, if you've been watching me for a little bit, it may seem like I'm really focused on the elements of level design, and that's only because when I first started level design was like, you know, definitely my weakest point. So I did a lot of like studying and stuff, and there's a couple of people who talk about level design theory and different things, you know, and you know, being able to tell the story through the level and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so you see what I'm doing here. So like, you know, I'm cutting you off rather than you just being able to run around this way. See if I get a better cursor. Yeah, run around this way. If you can see my cursor, run around this way and just go straight over here and forget the boss. I'm making it so that you have to pass next to him. So I put like a rock formation right here. That kind of limits your view. So you come out here, and then as soon as you come here, you see all this stuff with these things that you have to use these passcodes on, right? And then you're able to get this boss and defeat him to get the prisoner, who then, you know, who then gives you the access to be able to come here and do stuff. But you can't get to that. You still have to run past it. Yeah, you still have to run past it, go into here. You understand? To access here to get this key to do the final one. So I'm gonna just make that kind of clear. So let's just say this is. I'm gonna make that very clear. So let's do that. This is one. Oh, whoa! Let's get the right tool. So this is one. This is two. This is three. Right? So I'm gonna go simple. Let's call this one. Let's call this two. And three you have to get from over here. But that's locked off because you have to get to that key. So those are the kind of things that you want to be able to do. Let's see. I'm just gonna do a little dash line across. It might make things a little confusing, but I just want to be clear about where this goes. This goes to that guy there. The thing is, now it's kind of clear where everybody else goes. We don't have to draw a line to. Well, yeah, let's do it. Come out. So let's go across. All right. Level 3 there. I mean, the third key there, or access point. Okay, so we got some like design elements. We got some little, you know, access elements here. This here is just like an open area. What's in here? It could be a bunch of different things. Like we have different things that the character could collect, but I'm not going to denote that out here. That could be a separate layer of the things that you could collect as a character that's going to affect your gameplay. So yeah, if I'm coming out a little bit low energy, you guys forgive me. Just I'm really starting to kind of focus in on the stuff. I've been working on the stuff behind the scenes also. So okay, so let's see here. Let's do that. I just want to be really clear that guys, this is that's happening here. Okay, so whatever's reflected in here should be over here, and I know what that is. That's basically what I already have, which is these like these channels, right? So I had something like this. But these should be rooms. Right. I don't want to make you you know, we'll see once we play through these. You know, we'll see how you know, how pissed off, you know, as a gamer you'll be like by having to go through a lot of these chambers. Sometimes when you have a level that's too, you know, too many rooms and turns and stuff, it could be confusing, especially if it's not properly like formatted. You know, want to make it more enjoyable than, and a little challenging more than frustrating, right? So we'll see. Yeah, how many of these I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Five of these guys. Let's do that. I'll just do one side and just copy it over. It's all good. You know, there's a line tool in there. We could use a line tool. I was going freehand because I just need to practice, keep my hand practicing on this Wacom. Let's see here. It's 1, 2. Oh. 3. Okay. Okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to have to think about exactly what I want to convert these into, because I think just having those channels might be a bit boring. The original idea for me doing that design like this, I wanted the whole thing to look like a circuit board, like a motherboard of a computer. I mean, you know, it mightn't be such a cool idea after all, but you know, you got to try your ideas, right? The execution is kind of what, you know, it's how you execute it, how it looks in the end. Okay, so I think like these could be separate rooms, right? I think what I want to do is this. Let's do this. Let's see if we go through there and this, you see there's an S there. Okay, let's back up a bit. Why would you go that way? I don't want it to be overly mazy. Okay, let's look at what we have in Blender there. Okay, forgive me guys, let me just save right now. Okay, one trick like when I'm working on this stuff like is to actually change the view. So right now the viewport background here in Blender is gray. You want like an obnoxious color. So when you're doing modeling and stuff, you can see if like there's any gaps. You know, so let's see here. So I'm gonna jump in here and just change some of the colors, change the background color up here a bit. Let's see here, animation, interface, viewport, themes. Okay, here we go. All right, so not bone colors, we want 3D viewport. Okay, here we go. So I think this is the grid color. Oh, come on, Nick. Okay, 3D viewport, it should be this. Or it could be up here. Hold on. Oh no, let's go back, let's go back. Properties. User interface. Where is it? I think there was something called background. Like, I can't even see it anymore. Like, everything in here is somewhat jumbled. I know this is that's the grid. Clip border. Clipping border? What is that? I think that's if like, okay, I think I know what that is. UV face, Okay, so I believe it might be in here. Not in view though. Background. So you have theme, you have world, you have viewport. So let's use viewport. This is where the color is, and you could change this to like whatever color you need so that things pop out. I think like in the past I've used like really bright like pink, you know, or really bright blues, you know. So if I see between any object, all of a sudden it pops, it jumps right out at you. Or you can use like really obnoxious yellow. Something like that. But you don't want it too obnoxious because, you know, you don't want it to start to influence your design. Anything like that. This is what Sid Meat Orange. Oh, maybe not. I'm gonna stick with one of the old school things. Let's go with like a purple, not purple. Let's go with something like that, like a pink. But you know, pink is a color I rarely use a whole lot. I think it should be used sparingly, so let's keep it like this. And everything looks really pink. Alright, so let's see here. Let's see, now if I go in that view, it turns that off. Yeah. Let's see. Camera away. World. Lighting. Scene lighting. Yeah, I think like the Blender, they changed up like a lot of the way how things are. Let's see, world space lighting. Compositor camera disabled. Alright, okay, so at least when we go into this mode we could see, like, you know, once we're into like really modeling stuff, you know, we could see what we're getting. Yeah, stick with that nasty blue. Okay. Alright, so yeah, so we're back down in here. And I'm looking at the overall so the thing about my levels is like no real verticality to it, but we'll get into that in a minute. Let's jump into here. And that's only because I wanted things to look really grounded, you know, without not too much jumping, but we could change some of that. So I'm looking at this guy right here. Alright, so this whole area is going to change. I think for the better. It was a little bit much. Alright, we're gonna slope down, we're gonna get a nice flat building. This is gonna, yeah, all this is gonna look great. Okay, so maybe here, what I could do though, as you go down, I think maybe this could have like some sort of, this could be like a bridge, right? From here to here. This is what I'm watching. You could get rid of these chunks right here and just leave this bridge part in here. So let's see how this is. Lovely, this is actually one object. Let's see, grab. Okay, let's do let's rough this up into kind of like the idea I have. So let's go here. So essentially, I don't want any of these guys back here. Let's go into face mode. Z. Let's go Alt Z so we can see all the way through. Alt Z. I'd rather just go like into wireframe. That's always been my thing. Let's do that. Let's keep it going like that. Let's go back. It's wireframe. Solid. Yeah, if we just get rid of this guy here. Right? Let's get rid of this guy here too. May have too much play space. Let's go wireframe. Solid. Okay. Yeah, and we don't want any of this guy here either. So basically it's a bridge. Should it be a dual channel kind of thing? I think the one bridge is gonna give it a little more importance. Let's see if how I have this hit L on that, L on this, L on that, L on that, L. Let's separate that. P. Oh no, not like that. Selection. Sorry guys, let's have my keyboard off to the side here. Okay. Select that. Okay, so we got the one element there, right? Okay, so I'm gonna reflect. So this is like a basin, right? This goes down. Let's extrude along the z-axis. Just turn my screencast keys on. There we go. Okay, so let's see, we got that there. I'm just gonna do something like this. So I'm gonna keep that cut like that for now. Right? Right, you can work out how this bridge actually works. Actually, I have an idea. Let's just do that idea right now. So as it comes, you know, throw it down. That'll be my advice. Come on. There's do something like so. I think that's destroying it. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna extrude from here. Alright, and this is a separate element because we just need to knock this down. We're not trying to get this perfect, because I mean all these features to me look very bland and they need like a lot of like box cutter and a lot of things cut out of them and stuff like that, right? So there's a lot of like flat shapes. Sorry guys, it's just my keyboard is on the weird side of my desk right now, so I'm kind of fumbling through this a little bit. Okay. I'm trying to reach over to get the keys. Okay, that's great. Let's do that over again. Bevel that. Let's grab these two parts here. Let's bevel that. Let's do that again. Alright, I'm gonna slide it in a weird way. Something like so. Grab these two. Something like that. Grab these two. Alright, let's give it something like that. I mean, this is like beyond basic, right? Just want to show that we're giving it some sort of interest. Oh, you know, there's one trick you could do, like, you could literally just, you know, being able to handle polygons however you want to handle them is one of the strengths of Blender. Oh, really? Like I didn't separate that? Come on. It's separated. I know I'm going to have to use this CAD thing that I have here. It does pretty decent snapping, like this, like so. Just merge that real quick. Yeah. Oh, come on. You know, of course, you know, we could do better than this, right? But yeah, this is not cool by any stretch. But I just want to show that it's a bridge. It's meeting up to here. Come on. Okay. So I'm gonna do something like this. Just do something like that. Let's extrude that. I'll just select these. Come on. You can do it. All right. just want to push that back to show there's this stuff going on back. So, and of course this edge could be a lot better, but that's fine for now. Yeah, this whole thing could be a lot better, so let's just stick with this for now. Yeah, so I really destroyed it. It's all good. It has to retexture anyway, and the size of this should be better. So I think this should add some interest by the time we get to that. Yeah, you do get a bridge that's heading this way into this area, right? And this could be designed to look a lot cooler. I actually have an idea about this though. Let's see what I could do here. Let's separate this guy. So sometimes, like when you're at the stage, like the bigger shapes kind of matter the most right now. Let's go top view. Yes, this whole thing has to fix. Let's go into wireframe. If you want to make a slice right through something, hold on here. You know, one way is to select. Aren't these edges being selected? What's going on here? Okay, I'm gonna select these edges here. Okay, that was really weird. Subdivide. What's going on with this thing? What? Oh, it's not together. Okay, I see. Go vertex and let's select all, and then I'm going to collapse by distance. Hopefully that'll fix that. Then if I do R, it still didn't. How much is the collapse by distance? Let's go up a smidgen. No, if I do R, there you go. Okay, let's go back to the top view here. See something? Yeah, I know I should be able to do this. It's like an inverted bridge, right? Normally the bridges want to go up like this to avoid. What if we don't break convention? Let's see what's going on. Oh yeah, there's a extra part in here that's not being split. Let's see what it is. I don't know where that's coming from. Okay, so anyways, let's get in here. The idea is the most important thing at this point. So I'm gonna select this here. And let's unhide everything. And let's go back into shaded mode. Yeah, so to me that looks dumb. Oh, that looks futuristic. It doesn't look. You know what? Just keep it straight across. You gotta play with these ideas. Okay, anyways. Okay, so let's go back to the layout. And knowing that that's kind of what we want to do there. Yeah, we're gonna make that into to a bridge. And then we can continue our motif of that of that orange water. Okay, so that slopes up, slopes down, so there's a landing right here. A mistake. You know what? I don't have to be 100% accurate. We just need to get. You need to get the concept in. Okay. So no, that's like that there. I'll just get rid of these extra lines here. Okay, we got that one bridge. That's where we get the. Right, whatever. Okay. Add this over on the other side too. Drawing on this Wacom feels a bit like you're drawing on glass, and I know there's some like clear protective paper with some texture to them, so it feels more like paper. Okay, some sort of bridge and some sort of thing leading into there. Let me see something over here. Okay, so now you guys got these spaces here. I think I'll do the path that the character should be moving on. So let's see. So this is the player spawn point. Basically, this is the direct path through. Let's take the shortest route. Alright. Okay. So of course this could divert to get to there. I'm watching something here. See, that's a direct run straight down the line towards, it's a B line towards that first part right there. The question becomes, do I actually want this extra space here to add some other like did we do that for this one too? Yeah, remove. So this one had a lot more diversion, so like it's a little more linear, right? So it's like you go here and you have to go through there to get there. Have to go through that in order to get there. Right, then you can just go straight there. This one, you have to choose to go over on that side. It's not like you have to. Right, you go that way. So instead of going straight here, like that. I mean, you definitely have to go towards these key buildings in order to get to there. So you know what? Hold on here. Let's just do that. Let's just see what this is. I have to go get there in order to get to there. Let's show, let's show the loop back. Oop. The thing is, we have too many loop backs where the player is looping back into the same level that they just passed. And does that feel like you're not progressing? Yeah, look back there. I mean, in order to access that area, you have to go there, and then here, the same thing. So now you're looping back. So you have to go there. You know, this is optional back there. There should be some optional things back here. Yeah, see, this kind of bottlenecks you into there. And I didn't want to bring this T back over here. That might be a little bit interesting. Let's try something here. So should we come back with this? Okay, I see here. This is what we could do. Let's make a hole. So that kind of stops it when we cut across, right? I'm looking at something here. Maybe I do mirror this bridge back over here. I was trying to get away from that mirrored look. And then there has to have like some kind of like singular platform that's out there. Yeah, let's do that. Cut that off. So this is definitely optional, right? And it'll have the same kind of building over here. This might be centered, you know. I don't know. I'm doing it off center to try to force you to cover some sort of ground, but maybe I should not do that. Okay. Alright. So it's optional. I'm trying to give you like a sense that this is this this beat that's playing right now, it sounds like a kind of, you know, like most of the the music in the background here. It sounds kind of gamey, right? But then this one reminds me of a group called Massive Attack. They had you know, like in the 90s, there was these kind of what people call EDM. I didn't realize they were calling that EDM until recently. But yeah, anyway, they had this group called Massive Attack, and you know, they would make you know, kind of like these kind of operatic techno music kind of thing. You know, it was kind of pretty cool. It was different, right? It felt like the future at the time. Well, not too futuristic. It just felt, you know, it felt really well done. That's what it felt like. Okay. So this is that river continuing through with these kind of two. It's actually two bridges. It's all good. It's all good. Let's do that for the bridge. It's all good. You know, you could choose whatever, it doesn't matter. Let's come here and put that into red. Okay, so you see it goes like that, like that. We could drop that orange back on here to see that, you know, I wanted the water, the elements to come back in. I wasn't too sure how to pull that off right away. I think this might be a cool thing. This might be a cool way to bring it back in. Let's go back, let's zoom back in here. Yeah, this is like a wall. And I'm gonna do the floor kind of like to show that there's some kind of outer lip. That's kind of what they do, right? Okay, let's drop that let's bring back the interface here. I'm gonna drop back that orange kind of water thing there. I'm just gonna sample this back real quick. Okay, let's go right ahead and just kind of denote where the stuff is running. Okay, so it obviously is, you know, just you can see the stream running through here. It's kind of cool. Let's go back here. Oh, I think my phone just died on me. And these things don't last at all. Like the batteries are like crazy. Like this being drained constantly. I think they put apps in there, like they just consume so much of the power. Anyhows. Okay, so you see like here you have that going on. Here you don't have anything, right? So if we go back to in Blender and take a look. Yeah, I think the last level in here, the last part in here, there's like big empty, there's some room on the side. Let's go to the top view. Yeah, there's some like room off to the side in this area. Let's go back to the Wacom. Yeah, so there's room here. And it'd be nice to put like different elements, right? But I don't think that's a good idea. So let's see. So after level 3, this is level 2, you're going to level 3, which is another interior hard surfaced area. So maybe the thing to do. So I'm thinking here. Let's have. Okay, so I'm gonna put this back here. I'm gonna put this somewhat on an island. Let's do something like that. Let's just have this lead right into here. Right, so from time, you know, by the time you're finished, you're heading towards here. I don't know if there's much like things that you gotta battle through, but what I could do is to make this part also you know, like a precipice, right? It's another precipice. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put these wastewater pipes on the top of the wall. It's going to be having these things flowing. Let's do that. That might be interesting. Let's have a few of them flowing, a few of them just kind of returning back down into the ground there. So we got 3 on this side. Let's do 3 on this side. And let's do a whole bunch, right? Kind of returning back down. So I'll show you what I mean by that. And I will actually draw a side view to kind of illustrate the point that I'm trying to get at here. Oh. Just kind of clean that up there a bit. Okay. Right. So let's see here. I'm gonna come here and okay. So you want like where you're going to look a lot different than where you came from. Well, to some degree, you know, you could have some symmetry, but you want some differences so the player know that they're heading in the right direction. You know. So I'm just gonna do this to show that this is going down into here. Alright, and then like something like so. Let's do one more. right? But these pipes are returning down. I'm going back, going straight across. And all this is in a precipice. You know, kind of like a mountain drop, right? Kind of like in a valley or something. I'll do this one here too. Yeah, let's do this. Oh, come on. I gotta fix that. How are you doing out there? What's your Friday looking like? What does your weekend look like? Do you know? Hey, you know what? I just want to talk about something for a little bit here. Outside of what I'm doing here. Hey, I saw the Super Mario Brothers movie last night. The animated movie, the new one, the Super Mario Brothers. Yeah, whatever that is. Yeah, it was pretty good, man. Like the animation. I looked at the animation, the way they animated it. The story was pretty it was pretty engaging. You could tell, they try to cater for kids, which is great. That's I mean, it's a kids thing, right? It was really, they really did a good job on it. And now the thing is, a lot of people like wondering, did it have any woke woke elements in there? Um, Maybe, but it wasn't like heavy-handed, or I don't think there was. It didn't appear like that. If you just watch it for face value without knowing what's going on, kind of like in society, you would just think it's a pretty funny movie, right? And that's it. So I don't think anything was like really in the face. At least nothing that I could see. As far as like being like woke or agenda like or anything like that. So yeah. So other than that, the movie was they did a good job, and it was really engaging and everything like that, and it was very clear story. Compared to the old Super Mario Brothers with John like Luzama and that other guy, the new one is head and shoulders above that, as far as I'm concerned, because it feels more like Super Mario from the video games. So yeah, that was a pretty good movie. The colors in there was great. The way the colors look artistically, um, how they interpreted the characters. I mean, I guess they had like tons of video games to pull from, right? They had like Smash Brothers and a whole bunch of other stuff. So yeah, yeah, that was a surprisingly decent show. I think a lot of people were kind of like, kind of winching back, just to see if there was any kind of weird stuff in there, and I think it was okay, you know. If I saw it, it's definitely one if I saw in cinema, I wouldn't mind. Now, there's some movies that came out recently that if you look at in cinema, I'm like, man, and I could have watched this when I was at home, you know. So what do you think? Do you think that, this is my question to you out there, do you think that there's still room to watch movies in like a cinema where there's like a big screen and other people on popcorn, or do you think that era is basically done and is going the way of the drive-through, the drive-ins? Sorry, not the drive-through, the drive-ins. There's still a few drive-in theaters around the U.S., but it's not nearly as big as it used to be. So, do you think that that it's gone that way, or do you think that cinema is slowly going to come back, or what's your thoughts on it? I'm just, you know, if you're watching me after the fact, leave your comments, or whatever ideas you have as far as that is concerned in the suggestion box. And if you're live, feel free to chime in right now and let me know what you think. Why isn't that? Oh, okay. I have the wrong tool. That's why. There you go. Okay, I gotta denote where this exit. I gotta note down where this exit is. Yeah, this is the exit here. What was the last movie, could you remember, in cinema that you thought was, wow, this movie is really good, and you're glad you saw it in cinema? Okay, so I think we have like several elements here to level 2 that will make for like a really good speed modeling, trying to get some stuff down in there, and then after looking at individual parts and like really going to town on them with detail, right? So we gotta make this back up and export this out and get this going. So with that said, I think this was pretty cool, like little exercise here. Alright, so I got some forest on that side, some trees, and I have trees in this other level too. This didn't show them. And then we got like a whole rock face happening, so I know that's gotta happen off to the side. I got like basically what some of these buildings could look like. We got some area here that still needs to be filled up. This is totally interior indoors, right? With a little bit of outdoors, and this is totally outdoors with a little bit of indoors, which is okay, right? I have 2 keys to open area. Here we have 3 keys. Don't necessarily have to be moving up in that area. Then we have some unlockables here. So I'm looking at the overall thing and just kind of in my head going through. We got a boss here. We got 1 boss there. I mean, there's several bosses. Okay. Maybe I could do a legend on what different things mean, right? I don't want to go ahead and lay out like where things should be, but definitely as far as a layout for like the top-down view of what the game should look like, that's what we're doing. These red lines are like how the character runs through the level. Right? He runs through like this to get through the level. Okay, I think this is pretty cool. Alright guys, I'm gonna take a few seconds break, and I'm gonna break away, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna try to do actually, we didn't really jump into Blender that much to do any modeling, really. I did a little something just to kind of flesh out an idea, but let's come back and let's check out to see if we could do some drawing with hands and that kind of thing. I remember MechFan0 said, hands are pretty tough, right? And they are in some cases, but like with drawing, you got to break things down into its components, right? So we could get into some of that. And I've been here drawing anyway, But I gotta take a little break and stretch and grab something to eat. Excuse me, a little tongue tied. Yeah, and I'll be right back in a few minutes, right? So you guys hang tight and we'll continue. Okay, I'm back. Got my AC on. So if you're hearing that noise, that's what that is. Let's get into doing some of this anatomy stuff, right? Let's do some hands. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a freehand drawing of a hand here, and then later, like I'll jump into Blender and like we'll like try to deconstruct it a little bit. You know, using some basic shapes and that kind of thing. Okay. Trying to get my thing here to work. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, full screen. There we go. Alrighty. Let's get a hand happening. So whenever I draw hands, I normally like to do the same stick figure thing, and I try to start with the palm. So let's see. Let's do a hand. So you could do a hand in different ways. So normally the palm is like a cube like that, right? And then after, you got the thing that attaches you got the bone that attaches the thumb, right? But then there's a whole muscle there for the thumb and that kind of thing. When you could kind of express it with a volume, kind of like almost like a triangular type volume. But then the thumb has to come off the angle of this part here. Right? That gives it that kind of feel there. Right? Let's keep with it. Right? And then the thumb itself, it's a funny little thing. I normally like to do the thumb slightly kind of not completely straight like that, but slightly kind of off centered like that. You see, like that right there doesn't look too good as a thumb. So it's kind of like it's a shape that, you know, you gotta kind of work with how it's turned for it to look like a thumb. Alright, so like I will turn the shape like that. Because it's gotta add interest. But then in the end is what the hand does, right? But let's go into the fingers. Fingers is the same thing, right? And what's going on with the hand, right? If you look at your hand in the palm, it's kind of like a peak point. So it's like a peak point like this here, and it goes back like so. So it's not completely like a full-on square, right? And there's more things to do with the hand, but long as you know like the base, you know, like some simple ways to get you there, then you can look into the more complex things like the shape of the actual palm and how the fingers fall on there. So like each finger is like three bones. So it's kind of like you're doing those three bones there, right? And if you hold your hand, right? So like your middle finger is the longest. The pointing finger, you know, is important also. So let's do those real quick. And if you look at your hand from a side profile, it is kind of like this, and it goes almost to a point here. It's almost like what's happening here with the thumb almost. Alright, but notice I roll the thumb off to the side like that. Alright, let's see something like this. So you got those boxes and it comes to a point. So it's kind of like, you know, you start to taper off when you come down to the last digit is where you taper, right? And then if you look between like your like this bone here, let me zoom in. I'll just stay like right here. If you look between this bone and the bottom of the thumb, there's like a skin, so you could like draw like a curve like that. You know, you don't have to, but you can. The skin kind of like runs along, you know, along there, and it rolls below that thing there, right? So now what's happening is that you gotta like know where the knuckles are, right? So your knuckles is between the joints, You got your knuckles here. Let's just draw a circle for it for now. Let's draw a joint, the joint, like what its joint is, and let's draw a circle on top here for now. Slightly another circle, right? And here also for the thumb, right? And then there's other bone. There's another thing here because it's bone, so you could draw a line through it like that. A line through it like that. That's kind of what we're dealing with. We're dealing with joints and bones, and this is kind of like the basis of like even doing like 3D, right? So let's do the middle finger. As I said, like, you know, it's the palm, it starts to taper off like that. Let's do the middle finger, and I'm doing it like a little bit small. So the middle finger, just all you have to do is look at your own hand if you want to draw good hands. Let's do that. Right. Let's do that. Right. So now you don't have to draw the middle finger so long out. You just have to do just long enough to look like a middle finger. Well, because you know, when I'm coming from comic art, right? So you know, we tend to think in terms of getting things approximately close. If you want to like really get into like, you know, how things actually look, that's kind of more anatomical, classical type, you know, type stuff. So I'm gonna draw the knuckle where the joint is right here, and that's kind of like the knuckle here. But your bones in your palm goes, you know, your palm is not just like a block like how I put it here, right? Your bones, there's bones going past that up to your wrist, like so. So if I draw this line here, that's kind of like what's happening here. And there's a bone that comes back here like so. So what's happening is, see, now let's do the other finger. I think so this is the index finger, this is your middle finger, and I don't know what you call the other finger after that. I forgot. Come back here. I have to look it up. I don't want to say anything stupid. Yeah, it's been a while, guys, right? So you got this happening, right? Let's get a shape back here, right? And let's deal with the joints here in the first finger before we continue. So like on your pointing finger, I think it's called the index finger, right? Notice how I did the circle for the, like where the joints is, and then the stroke for the bones. Wherever the joint is on top here, below here, you should do a divot, kind of like this. But it's being pulled in. It's being pulled in slightly because of how your finger has to bend. Kind of like that. Now let's do the other finger. Okay, so the other finger here is getting close to like how your index or your pointing finger is. I'm just drawing it like so. And I'm looking at my own hand to kind of get an idea of like what this could look like. Now if you notice, like I kind of push actually this finger is a little bit taller than your pointing finger, so you could push it back up a bit, something like so. So I'm just going to draw a circle where the joint is and draw a line denoting where the bone is, and I'm going to draw a line hidden back to the wrist like that. So now your pinky finger is the last one, right? Your little finger, your small finger, your pinky, right? Now normally when I'm drawing these kinds of like hand studies, I like to pose the hand, right? But I'll show you about posing later. So let's just bring the pinky finger in there. So the pinky finger lands at the knuckle of the second to last finger, right? And it's a lot lower down, like about here, right? So let's draw it. Alright, so that joint is like so. Let's bring this like so, and let's bring the pinky finger. And if you notice, I cannot do like the fingers is being obscured as I go back. So you don't see, you see less of the pinky finger, more this finger, more that finger, and a whole lot of this finger as we draw it. So maybe the middle finger might be a little bit too much there. Let's pull it back some. Okay. And you could erase the parts that kind of don't make sense, right? And the hand, see if like you're gonna draw, like see like this is right here. What I like to do is come and just kind of pull some lines showing like where this is. Now your wrist coming up here, you could start like where the block, the edge of the block is here, and pull that up. Right, and there's normally a bone here for your you know, so I'm going to show the joint where this bone is for your forearm. Now some people you don't see that as pronounced. Like me, I do see that bone kind of pronounced. Some people you don't. So you know, that's why looking at reference of human beings and different people is good. Each person expresses the expression of how their hand is a little bit different. Alright, I'm gonna, oops, that might be a little bit much there. And come back in. Yeah, so this is definitely the drawing tutorial section. I should have just changed the segment. Tutorials. Okay. So yeah, so this is the hand here. Right? So now when you have something like this, now you could get into doing it, actually drawing it a little bit more. Now I think my thumb looks a bit big, but that's fine. For now, you know, you could start to slim things down. Let's get into like actually putting this all together. So I'm just gonna run the outline, right, like so, right, and I'm gonna run the outline of all the fingers. So I'm just gonna go like so. Remember I talked about that divot earlier, like by the joints, and I'm gonna smooth that out like that. Come back, I'm gonna roll, I'm gonna put a curve where the joints of the finger is. You know, if you do it too much, the hand looks too old, and if you do it too little, then the hand it looks featureless, like almost like a robot. So it's a little erasing and coming back in is fine. Gonna do some of that. So the next big thing is like the knuckles, right? So I like drawing like these little bumps here, like so. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so hopefully you guys can see a little bit better if you're watching here. Yeah, for these things. And then I like to do a hint of where that bone kind of goes back. If you look at your hand, some people you could see a hint of where the bone rolls back towards their wrist, right? And this is me drawing from memory and also drawing from watching my own hand, right? Okay, so now let's put in the fingernails. Once you start getting into to certain kinds of detail, then it sells what it is you're doing. So all you have to do is look at your own hand to get a sense of like where the fingernails are and all that sort of stuff. So this is kind of like a rough hand, right? Now when you want to pose the hand, this is what I want. This is what I do. So say if like you want somebody pointing, you could point at different views. You could point the person could point straight at you. They could point off to the side, a 3/4. Let's stick with a 3/4 point. Just say like I wanted to pose the hand. What I would do, instead of drawing like a box like I did, I would draw something like this, kind of like a slight trapezoid like that. And I'll put like the first point, the pointing finger like so. Right? And you could break this up. So like this bone here, that bone, and that bone. Something like that. And then I'll put the fingers pointing down. Because when you make a fist, you know, the person has to make a fist and then kind of point off to the side. So let's do something like that. Right, so that's the fist happening there. Right, so that's my kind of amateur, you know, not amateur in terms of amateur, but the pose rig, right? Like a rig. This is the way of me rigging. This is how I rig my hands, right? So instead of doing the boxes like I showed you, I just do the like the flat shapes. And that's how I would pose a hand with the palm and all that sort of stuff. Right? And then what do I do from here? Right? So I start adding in flat shapes, believe it or not. Rarely do I ever like get into doing it 3D, because you could start from the flat shape, you could start doing 3D stuff. This might be a little bit lower. Right? So now you want to do something like that. Person's pointing down at something. Right? Then you could get into more detail. Let's make this a little bit smaller. If you notice, I'm making like little editing choices here. So okay, I don't want to go too overboard with the joints. And then just I'm drawing these little circles, like I'm drawing these little guide circles to kind of help me kind of keep on track here with the actual form of the hand. I know there's some comic book artists out there who don't like to draw like hands and feet and stuff like that. I really like to draw hands and feet. That's my thing. My thing is hands and my thing is feet. Well, that's kind of funny the way I said that, but you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, right. So yeah, so I like drawing hands and I like drawing feet, only because you know like those things initially when you first start is kind of like they're a pain and they could be hard. But once you start drawing, when you start getting into it, you're like wow, you know. So you know what we used to do back in the day. When I said we I mean me and my brother Nigel and you know most of us we used to we rarely ever do studies like this, like how I'm drawing right now, kind of disembodied hands and stuff. We'll draw like a whole figure and just couldn't look at the hands and how the hands is constructed. You know what I'm trying to say? And yeah, we look at how the hands is constructed and like really get down into like, you know, why does this look like this and why does that look like that, and you know you could have done this part here better, and you know we used to get into critiquing each other's work, right? Right, and you just want to constantly kind of iterate over a period of time. Iterate, so you're making a lot of changes over a period of time. You know, and then and because we used to do comic anatomy, you could get away with, you know, you could get away with a whole lot, not a whole, not crazy amounts, but you could get away with a good little bit, right? I think there's like a rule to the, there's a rule here to the hand and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, you know, so basically, yeah, basically this is how you do it, or at least you know how I was trained to get into doing hands. Feet are the same way, where you know with feet, you know you kind of start with. This is how I start, you know, feet, like you know you gotta know like how the foot is constructed, right? Oops. All right, you do the same thing, the big toe. And after a while, like me going in abstract is always like sometimes a better way to really get some life into some of the stuff, and then you could get different kind of foot characteristics, right? Because different people have different you know, their feet might be slightly different, right? Or their hands might be slightly different than you know what people would average you know would see, you know. But each time you draw, it should lend itself to giving some uniqueness to that thing. But the anatomy part is kind of is what's got to be somewhat nailed on, because humans are really good at looking at or recognizing, you know, other human features, right? Things like feet and hands, You know, we really look at those things when drawing and stuff like that, you know. Yeah. So I'm drawing a foot here. Right? Different people have different, their feet and their hands look different. But, you know, it should still have the same kind of, the anatomy should still be the same. And also another thing, don't ever put pressure on yourself to have anything look a particular way. You know, that there's is kind of, it's a creativity killer kind of thing. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 toes, 5 fingers and toes. You know, there's a natural like drop off to like your hands. Your hands come like that, like an arch, and your foot is, you know, some people have a longer middle toe and stuff like that. But we could get into that stuff. So, you know, being an artist, you know, somebody, when I say being an artist, being someone who like to draw and color and paint growing up, you know, I had to be observant, right? Because it wasn't like I didn't have the internet in those days. So I had to learn how to observe things and remember things, even if I just saw it just the one time, because I would want to draw it later or whatever it is. So it got me observant about the human body, and I think it got me a little too observant, right? And I think that, you know, is a source of you know, it kind of worked against me growing up, because, you know, like I remember like things like really to a certain level of detail in my head, and that's because I trained myself to do that ever since I was a, you know, a young boy or whatever it is, because I wanted to draw the human body, and I wanted to draw places and buildings, and so I have a photographic memory, right? I could go somewhere one time, right, and remember certain details about it. Now, would I always remember it forever? No, I wouldn't always remember it forever, but just long enough so I could reach home and draw it, right? Yeah, this foot is kind of weird, but you guys get what I'm saying, right? This is how you do that. And the more you practice, the better off, you know, the better off you are, you know. And same thing with drawing faces too, right? So we got feet, and if you notice, I'm not trying to overly go in there and polish it right off, right? The polishing comes easy. You could like literally go in and start to work on just like one part, you know, and add certain kinds of details. Like some people have this kind of circular thing in their nail bed, which is like the nail bed, I think it is. And you could even do like fingerprints if you're drawing, you know, as a contour to how detailed you want to get. I could, you know, you could draw down to just to add a few little hints of fingerprints in there, you know, whatever it is. But yeah, that might be a little bit much, you know. This finger look fat, but you could always adjust that, right? So yeah. Just toe here, right? What else? So yeah, so basically that, like faces. Let's see faces. Faces is you know, a lot of people, you could start with an oval. You know, I like to start with cubes. So according to the face you're trying to do, right? You know, and you do this T thing. This is where the eyes is. I think I showed this already. And this is the nose. And then the mouth. You could do the eyebrows. You know, you might want to get the emotion in there. right? And if it's a woman, you started bringing some of that slender thing into her face. And give her a chin, you know, like, you know, you could, you know, if you know how to draw, like, this kind of start off like this, then when you do anime stuff, it's gonna be like mad easy, you know. But if you start off like doing anime, it's kind of hard to kind of make that anime look different. So sometimes when you do anime, you might be locked off in a particular anime style, like Dragon Ball Z is different than like how Akira looks and so on and so forth, you know. So you kind of want to do kind of classic comic book, classic cartoon features, you know, if you want to be a little versatile, right? You could do like the person's angry. You could do that. You could do the comic book kind of orb of the head there, and let's see. Let's come here. Yeah, she looked like she's looking off to the side here. Let's make that apparent. Let's give her some eyelashes. Give a little cheekbone vibe going on there. So lips. Everybody's lips, everybody have different characteristics to their mouth. You could do like a really narrow nose or a wide nose. I like wide noses there, they're kind of hot. You know, in the face nowadays. I see a lot of narrow nose people, but you know, it's according, you know, I mean, you gotta know the characteristics of you know, the person's race and that kind of thing in order to sell that off, you know. Let's give her some kind of get some flyaways there. So there's a little bit of a forehead there, kind of fix that. Maybe like a weird hairstyle or something. Whatever it is, you know, of course, you know, the female neck, you kind of want to, you know, she looks a little more female. I think her ears needs to be a little bit lower. But then it's according to the rotation of the head, right? Yeah, so that's the next thing. So you're going to do a head at a certain angle. You know, you could just basically draw a cube or something like a rectangle and then draw this for the eyes. If you want to do the person facing up, you do the same thing, like they're looking up. Right? This is basically a person looking up, and then you do the eye, you raise the T for the eyes and the nose. You bring that a little bit higher up. If they're looking forward like that. If they're looking down, it's the same kind of thing. right? And then you could use this to start to construct the face and add dimension and stuff like that, and to do it under the chin and all that sort of thing, like under the chin like that. Roll back the head. You do the ears. The thing about drawing is like this, being able to not be afraid to like deconstruct these things into manageable pieces, you know, and not be afraid to make mistakes too, and learn from your mistakes. And a next thing that the way we used to do stuff back then, like we would do one thing and then we would just move on from it. We wouldn't try to correct it or salvage it. Like if it came out crappy, you know, we just leave it crappy, you know, and move on. And that crappy thing would always be a reminder of, you know, where you went wrong, kind of thing. You know, well, oh, you know, the proportions of the hand is off, or the hairline looks weird, you know, or something like that, you know, because, you know, we did it this way or we did it that way, you know. So you do the shoulders, and I'm kind of free. You see, I'm kind of freeing it up now because just off of memory how these things kind of want to go is how I remember to do this stuff. And this is kind of low resolution right now I'm drawing, so this is a very tiny image. You know, you might want to do, you know, of course, you know, do it a bigger so you could always remember to so you could always have a better image. But these days, you know, with digital upscaling, you could draw a, you know, a relatively low size and should be able to bring it, you know, bring it back up into some sort of usable resolution, you know, something bigger and that kind of thing. Okay, so yeah, I was just showing so yeah, we kind of went off on a tangent there as usual. Right, about doing hands and then now like faces and stuff like that. Oh, next thing too, another thing that kind of helped, you know, my brother and I growing up in terms of drawing is that if you make something a big deal, it will kind of be a big deal, and it goes with almost anything in life. If you say, oh my gosh, like, you know, like hands is like the holy grail, or like you know, this is too hard or something, you know, it's gonna be challenging. You'll probably get there, but you're gonna get there with a lot of pain, right? And one thing I've learned is that you know, sometimes it's good to make things not a big deal, you know. I mean, it's kind of how you react to it. I mean, some things are a big deal in life, but sometimes it's better just to treat it, you know, it's like, you know, whatever, I could just, you know, I could do that hand, you know, I'll practice it, not a big deal, whatever it is. Like Rob Liefeld is a comic book artist, and he didn't make a big deal about hands and feet, so much so that he doesn't really need to draw them that well in order for him to do comics for Marvel. And he's like one of the he's one of the like the most celebrated artists out there. One of the, like, he made he made Cable, you know, Rob Liefeld, and he did a famous Captain America cover where his pecs were like crazy, like distorted and stuff like that. I don't mean to bring up Liefeld, you know, but yeah, you know, people look at him as oh yeah, Rob Liefeld is the guy who invented Deadpool, right? So if you know about Deadpool, you've seen Rob Liefeld's work, because that's, if you like Deadpool, he invented that. A guy who couldn't really draw hands and feet that well invented Deadpool, right? So it's all about what you're willing to do, right? Not everybody's willing to like get into art and do this sort of stuff, right? But for those who are willing, you know, you got to learn how to overcome your, you know, anything that seems like an obstacle. Same thing with like doing, you know, like me doing a video game. I apply the same principle. Well, the video game is magnitudes times more difficult in terms of all the pieces that has to come together in it. Right? Now there's certain rules to like doing like faces and stuff like that. Like the top of the ears, I think, come to the top of the eye here, and there's different proportions like that. But once you know like how the eyes line up, like the eyes, when you do eyes, right? I'll give you one thing about eyes, like this one thing. Like when you do eyes, you're supposed to be able to fit a next eye in the middle of it. Like whatever the size of this eye is here, you should be able to fit another eye in the middle of it. You can bring the eyes a little bit closer if you want, but if you have the eyes if the eyes are too close, then it starts to look weird and it starts to look more stylized. Yeah, you could break rules like that once you know what the right. I think if you kind of have an idea of what the right way is, you could break the rules easier, right? Because if you look at some anime, the eyes are really close and it works, right? Because it's a style. Yeah, so if you look up Rob Liefeld, you'll start to see you'll see things on his Captain America and the fact that he doesn't know how to draw hands and feet that well, and you probably see a lot of like other comic book artists dissing him. But Rob Liefeld is like insanely rich, right? He's the guy who invented Deadpool. He's one of the founders of Image Comics. You know, so he didn't let that stop him. So, but just because he does it like that, that doesn't mean you don't need to need to to learn the right way. At least that's what I tell myself. You know, it's like, hey, you know, even though, you know, there's people out there who don't know it that well. You know, I'm like, nah, I'm still gonna try to learn it, because it might work for them because they're in the right place at the right time. But for you, you might actually need to know how to do it properly and that kind of thing, right? So, yeah, I'm fussing with a chin now. Anyways, right. So, anyways, guys, we're doing like hands and feet and you know, back to this drawing. You know, we're doing this drawing studies here. That's kind of really nice and freeing. I actually wanted to block out this hand in 3D, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to continue working on this level design and see if I could knock out how it should look. You know, knock it out in knockout level 2 based upon what we did earlier. Yeah, so you know, so that's a tutorial there, and you know, I'm gonna call this a stream, guys. It's been fun. I may be on tomorrow again. I know I skipped out yesterday, and I needed to actually do some planning of other things. So you know, that was kind of like a exception to the rule there. You know, I know some of you may have been looking out for me. It's all good. You know, you can always hit me up on Discord or anything like that. I'm always available, even when I'm working and life is busy. I'm always available. I'm never so busy where I'm not available. I'm always available once I'm here on Earth, right? Once I'm still alive and breathing, I'm available, right? So I'll see you guys in a little bit. God bless, and yeah, xsinick out. You know, yeah, we're doing these things, right? And comic book shading right here. Let's drop that. Okay. Alright guys, I'll see you guys later. Take it easy. God bless. Bye bye. This is really cool. Oh yeah, and if you're watching me, if you normally watch me, please make an account on Twitch and follow me so I could get up to 50 subscribers. We're just 2 people away from hitting 50. And once I hit 50, I could add things like emotes and all kinds of fun stuff in there. and hopefully offer like like some subscriptions for those who want to be subscribed, and I'll have a format and all that. So it could lead to a lot of cool things, right? So tell a friend, and I just want to thank you for your participation, right? So big up to all of you guys out there. Have a good one. xsinick out. Hey guys, you know what? I was about to head out. Let's check out let's look at a video here about Rob Liefeld and his drawing and that kind of thing. I think it might be pretty interesting. So I want to look at Rob Liefeld and Mark Silvestri really quick here. And I'll just scan through this video real quick so we could see the kind of people that we're talking about, that I was talking about earlier. Okay, so let's go.
And these are the stories of that evolution. For 60 years you've read their tales, and tonight we celebrate them. To me, my X-Men.
So it's 1991, and what do you do with the most popular franchise in comics? Wipe the slate clean and start over. With a fresh X-Men #1, a new direction for flagship Uncanny X-Men, sizzling hot spin-offs, and new heroes and threats, the late 80s.
Okay, I'm going to scan through this guy a little bit because I don't want to hack his work. He's going to interview Rob Liefeld and Mark Silvestri, so let's check that out real quick.
New guests to chat.
I'm watching this for the first time with you guys.
Iconic work from this era are two supremely talented creators. Rob Liefeld, the dean of Deadpool University, whose iconic art and stories helped usher in a new era for mutants, and Mark Silvestri, whose work at Marvel included 5 years of beloved art on Uncanny X-Men and Wolverine. So Rob, hi, how you doing? So right out the gates, when you start at Marvel, you're jumping into X-Books. You got X-Factor, Uncanny X-Men, a rager of a Wolverine-focused What If.
I think Mark Silvestri made Witchblade and the Darkness.
From even like a fan standpoint to draw mutants and eventually plot their stories as well.
Yeah, Ryan, thank you, and thanks for having me, and great to see you. There was no bigger franchise than X-Men growing up. It was and remains my favorite group of characters.
This is Rob Liefeld.
And so the opportunity, when given the call to come and work for Marvel and draw X-Men related titles, you can't imagine how thrilled I was, and at the same time how intimidated, because of course, I had to slot an X-Men issue in between the gentleman that I'm on here with, Mark Silvestri. I'm like, oh crap!
Mark Silvestri is crazy. He could really draw really well.
It was the X-Men remains, like I said, my favorite Marvel, my favorite superhero concept characters. they still entertain me, and those memories are fantastic.
Okay, we're gonna
we got a bunch
scrub
of
through
great
this a little
comments in
bit.
here already. Outback era forever. Two of the goats. For me, it all started with Rob's cable, and everyone's picture.
Let's see what Mark Silvestri has to say.
What was your perspective going into that?
My game plan was just hang on and don't disappoint anybody. That was my game plan. I was in my 20s, and like I said, I just did like single issue stuff, and I did X-Men versus the Avengers, and people may not know this, but that's actually what got me the X-Men gig. To work with Chris Claremont. People also may not notice that I actually didn't do the last issue of that 4-issue miniseries because I got on the X-Men. And
okay, so
sometimes I'm not.
Let's jump to another
sure,
video
I'll take that gig.
That kind of deconstructs Rob Liefeld, in case if you don't know how he draws.
I was in my 20s. I was working with the biggest writer in comics on the biggest book in comics. It rarely.
I checked this out. This was pretty cool. The way all this guy deconstructed.
There is one image, a piece of comic book art, that floats around the internet like a turd in a swimming pool, going along, ready to ruin everybody's fun. And whenever I see this image, I can feel my blood pressure start to rise, my pulse start to quicken.
This is what I was
my face
talking about,
contorts
guys.
into an
Check it
expression
out.
of anguish, my chest inflates into a pair of oversized pectorals, and my arms shorten with rage. In that moment, I become the one thing I hate. I become Rob Liefeld's Captain America.
Look at that thing. Look at his chest.
If you've been a comic book fan at any point in the last 25 years, you've undoubtedly seen this drawing of Marvel's Star-Spangled Superhero. You've seen it on comics forums, on comics YouTube, comics Twitter,
And that was a
Bebo,
cover,
probably.
too.
I don't know. It's an image by much maligned comic book artist Rob Liefeld from his 1996 Captain America
guy that we
series
saw earlier.
that demonstrates a grasp of anatomy so tenuous it caused a beloved Marvel editor to have a fatal heart attack. Except it's not, because almost everything I just said in that last sentence is false. Internet bunkum perpetuated by fans and pros alike, because a dunk's a dunk, right? Who cares if none of it's true? Me. I do. I care a lot for some reason. Hey heroes, I'm Josh from Panels to Pixels, and everything you know about this image is wrong.
Of course, if you get a chance, check this guy's YouTube out. I'm not trying to grab his stuff. Let's just scan through.
I think the
real
thing
quick.
that really sticks in my craw about this image is the way that it gets proliferated online without any context. If you ever feel bad about yourself, just remember that Marvel actually published this Rob Liefeld drawing in a comic. And I'm here to tell you that they actually didn't. Boom, first mic drop of the video. Okay, so here's the story. In 1996, Marvel, in the clutches of both financial and creative bankruptcy, outsourced a number of their properties to former freelance artists who had left the company to form Image Comics. Jim Lee's Wildstorm Productions handled
Yeah, Jim
Fantastic
Lee's
Four
pretty good.
and Iron Man, and Rob Liefeld's Extreme Studios took the reins of the Avengers and Captain America. This was Heroes Reborn, and it's from this publishing initiative that the infamous Captain America drawing first spawned, and started to appear in comics mags such as Wizard, regional fanzines, and eventually
I
the
remember
early
reading
internet.
Wizard a
But
long time
crucially,
ago.
and I cannot stress this enough, this image does not appear in any issue of Rob Liefeld's Captain America run, nor was it ever intended for publication in that series.
There was a lot of controversy surrounding my first drawings of Captain America, and I only have myself to blame.
This is Liefeld in 2006, reflecting on Heroes Reborn 10 years later.
I think Rob Liefeld is
I,
great,
I
man. I
drawn
really
that
enjoy his art. It's so
Picture
different.
Cap.
He invented Cable and Deadpool, and
to get it colored, but
let's
The
see
very
this.
appeal of Liefeld's bulked up, chrome codpieced, bondage gear bad guys is that they're as camp as Christmas. Get you a man who can do both.
Yes,
I say.
over the
And I'm
top,
certainly
right?
not here to defend Rob Liefeld as a person, his personal beliefs, or his business practices. You got stiffed on a Kickstarter of his, I sympathize. But please don't send me 100 direct messages as if I can do anything about it.
So that's it, guys. I'm not
That's
gonna go
weird.
too much
That's-
into
that's a
what this
weird thing
guy
to
is
do.
actually
You're being
saying
weird.
here.
But what I am here to do
But you
is
know,
defend
just
truth,
taking a look
justice,
here on Rob Liefeld. I think since those days, he's gotten, really good. But he's really good at one thing I admire about him is that he's really good at belting out, stuff. I think really quickly. That's what I heard. This is Deadpool and Colossus. If you know that Deadpool movie, I think part 2 that Colossus in there or something like that. But yeah, Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Long as he made it out there. He's putting books out. Marvel hires him all the time. As far as I'm concerned, he's successful, and it goes back to what I was saying with just starting something is the biggest challenge you'll ever have. Like, you want to start drawing hands and feet properly, just start it. Just start drawing them, and look at anatomy books and ask around and stuff like that. So I know I've gone on a tangent with this, but all this is just stuff that kind of goes around my head. So I'll see you guys later. Thanks for joining the show, and this is definitely it, right? So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Take it easy. God bless. Bye bye.